If I can change the trajectory of the conversation and people's hearts, then it is important. It's important for people to pay attention, that to humanize us, that we are not bad people, whether we have made mistakes or whether we are innocent.
The show For Life just premiered tonight here on ABC. It tells the true story of a man who was in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Isaac Wright Jr. worked to become a licensed attorney during his time in jail.
That's right. As WCPO 9 News reporter Paula Searle shows us tonight, here in Cincinnati, there are two women who parallel his story. And they're doing something powerful in our own backyard to change the narrative of imprisonment.
When I came home 2 years ago, I noticed these beautiful murals.
Those beautiful Cincinnati murals each tell a story.
And it's important to share stories like Sheila's. It's important to share stories like mine.
But there are still some untold stories.
And said, hey, something's missing. And she asked me if they ever had a social justice mural specifically, and I said no.
By the end of this year, that could change as more voices come to the table to talk about social justice.
If people don't understand law or what a returning citizen is, then they will look at this mural because they understand art. So it's powerful.
Voices like Tyra Patterson and Sheila Donaldson Johnson, both incarcerated back in the day for different reasons and now free with the same goal in mind, to help others who are going through what they once did.
For people who say you can't change, we are living proof that you can change.
This is Donaldson Johnson now, a senior paralegal at the Ohio Justice and Policy Center. But back in 1984, she went to jail for aggravated drug trafficking and sales.
The exact nature was that I have the disease of addiction and I was selling drugs to support my habit for heroin.
She's one of the 5 women Patterson says will be on the social justice mural she's envisioned ever since coming out of prison 2 years ago.
I am from Dayton, but I always say prison was my home for more than half of my life, so that's where I'm from. I was raised in that institution.
Her case dating back to 1994 when she was convicted of aggravated murder and aggravated robbery, serving 23 years for a crime she and the victim's family now says she never did.
So whenever I came home, I vowed to myself that I will make a difference for those who are returning home from prison.
I knew that I had to reinvent myself. I knew I had to do some things differently. I got all kind of awards and I graduated with honors.
Their stories a parallel to the new show on ABC, For Life, based on wrongly incarcerated Isaac Wright Jr.'s life during his time in jail.
Tyra and I are real life, like we are real life in the law firm, working after being incarcerated.
While in prison, he became a licensed attorney and helped overturn several wrongful convictions through his work, later proving his own innocence too.
I love the fact that we have our men coming home. There's always stories about them, but I want them to empower women as well.
That's why this project will be more than just a mural to her. It'll highlight the empowerment of women, both on the painting and also behind the paintbrush.
I didn't want people to wait till people come home to give them jobs. I wanted to change the conversation around that, so we hired somebody who is still currently incarcerated with equal pay.
We're excited that people, for the first time in Artworks history, they're going to be hiring people who are coming out from prison.
Changing the conversation through TV shows.
I'm serving a life sentence for something I didn't do.
And through art.
It's important for people to pay attention, that to humanize us, that we are not bad people, whether we have made mistakes or whether we are innocent.
That little spark that I had left in my eye, it was fanned by unconditional love.
Paula Searle, WCPO 9 News.